So now let's solve the fractional part functions, my dear students. So now let's go into the topic, our topic. I hope those two problems you have enjoyed. In the same way, I have gathered some very good questions which are like surely come. Surely these types of questions only will come in your exam, my dear students. So don't be afraid. It is going to be very easy for you, and you are going to enjoy this session. So now fractional part function, my dear students, fractional part f or to or defined by f of x is equals to. If it is in curly bracket, you have to think that is the fractional part function. Mostly in question they will mention, even though they didn't mention, you have to understand that is fractional part function, my dear students. And already we have seen which is x minus greatest integer of x. So we can also write it as x is equals to fractional part of x plus greatest integer of x. So these two values also we can take, my dear students. So 3.45 means how we can solve? Just take the x value 3.45 minus greatest integer value means I'll get the fractional part. That small part value I'll get. That's only they have mentioned fractional part function. Okay, so likewise they are, for everything they have given, my dear students, you have to note one thing. If it is integer, you will get the value 0, and for whatever value you take, you will get till 0.999, you never get 1, my dear students. So the range, in last problem itself I have explained you, my dear students, the range is 0, 1. Okay, the range is always going to be 0, 1. You please keep that in mind. Okay. So now, my dear students, graph fractional part of function. Already I have explained you this graph. So whatever thing I am going to take from 0, 1, and this is the positive function, my dear students. So it will never take the negative values, like modulus, it will never take the negative values. It will always gives the positive values only. So from here till 0 it will reach. Again it will come at integer, it will become 0, at 1 it will become 0, from again 1 it will grow, then when it comes to 2 again it will become 0. So likewise the function goes, my dear students. So this is the graph of this function. So you may have the doubt, as I always used to say, graphs are very important, my dear students, particularly for calculus. If you are going to solve the problems in calculus, graphs plays the vital role. So from graph, what are the things you can get? Whether you can see whether this graph is continuous or discontinuous. By seeing itself, you can say this graph is discontinuous graph. And another thing also you can get, whether this graph is periodic or not. Periodic means after one time, again it is going to take the same value. Again it is going to take the same period. So for every integer, it is going on changing, my dear students, or you are observing. So the given value, it is periodic function with the period value 1, because for every integer from 0 it grows, but when it comes to 1 it becomes 0 and again it grows. Then when it comes to 2 again it becomes 0, again it will grow. Like this periodically it is coming, rotationally it is coming the same values. We also say sin x is the periodic function, cos x is the periodic function. Like that, so many things are there, my dear students, in separate lecture with functions, graphs and their transformation. I will explain you. In that, each and every graph I will explain you, my dear students, how to draw the basic graphs, because graphs are very important. Particularly, please keep like this kind of graphs, the basic graphs in your memory, so that it will be very useful for you only, my dear students. Okay. Now, the domain of the fractional part is x belongs to R. Any values it can be. So whatever value, it is going to give me a value. There is no undefined value for any particular functions. So the range is y belongs to 0, 1, as I said before, my dear students. So now let's solve, my dear students. What is the value of fractional part 0.1? You just think, my dear students, let me have some water. So my dear students, how we have to solve this problem? What is the value of fractional part of 0.1? So we know fractional part of x, which is x minus greatest integer of x. So here they have given 0.1, which is equals to 0.1 minus greatest integer of 0.1. So x value is 0.1 minus greatest integer of 0.1, which means what, my dear students? The answer is 0. So you will get the answer is 0.1. So the answer is 0.1, my dear students. I hope you understood this problem, and there is one important property based on this I will show you. So the answer is 0.1, my dear students, and these were like very basic problems. So before I am solving, please pause the video, at least think, my dear students. If you solve and comment it, I will feel so happy for you. Okay, what is the value of greatest fractional part of minus 3.9? So minus 3.9 minus greatest integer value is minus 3.9. So we know it always takes the left side values, my dear students. So minus 3.9 minus of minus 4. So minus 3.9 plus 4, which is equals to 0.1. I hope you understood, my dear students. Here in graph, if you take, it always takes the left side value. So here 3.9 means here it will come 3, 4. In negative side, it always takes the left side values only. So it will take minus 3.9 means minus 4, which is equals to 0.1. For this also the answer is 0.1. However, it's interesting, right, my dear students? So the answer is 0.1. It's the very important question, my dear students. Find the domain of the reciprocal of fractional part function, which is they have given f of x is equals to 1 divided by fractional part of x. What is the domain, my dear students? Already I have said the domain of the fractional part function is x belongs to R for fractional part. But here they have given you the reciprocal. How to solve? So here you have to think, my dear students. So as I said before we have solved one polynomial function, greatest integer function, for any value of 1 by 0 which is undefined. So I can take every values except where fractional part function becomes 0. I know for every integer fractional part function will become 0. Are you agreeing, my dear students? That's right, because fractional part function is what, my dear students? X minus greatest integer of x. So whatever 3, 5, 6, 10, whatever I'll give, because we know in greatest integer function, if I put inside the integer value, again it will give the same integer value outside. So what I'll do? 3 minus 3, which means 0. 5 minus 5, which means 0. So for every integer, it gives me 0. So only here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for every integer which is becoming 0, my dear students. So here they have given. So from here we came to know every integer great fractional part function is becoming 0. So here if I get 0, which becomes undefined. Apart from every integer, other thing is okay. Other values are accepted. Other than everything is accepted except integer values. So the domain for this function, domain is What, my dear students? So x belongs to real numbers except integers. So like this you have to write, my dear students, or else you can write it in directly in your note. But these things are like it's a property you have to know, my dear students. Sometimes they may ask in something like different, and sometimes in calculus you may get the value 1 divided by fractional part function. On the time you are not supposed to think, you have to be very strong so that you can solve all the problems, my dear students. So now the fractional part of x is equals to minus 78.9 is what, my dear students? So here this thing I hope you can solve. I leave it to you as homework. Please solve and tell me the answer in the comment section. Okay. So that thing okay, my dear students. Now let's see the true or false question. State true or false. The fractional part function is a discontinuous function. Already we have seen the graph, right, my dear students? So like this it goes. So this one is an yes. Your answer is correct, and please comment it down what is the answer. Okay. So it's true, my dear students, and they have asked fractional part function is a non-periodic function. They are saying it is non-periodic, but just now we have discussed it's a periodic function with the period value x is equals to 1, because for every integer it takes the same value, that is 0, again and again it is coming around like the circle, like the wheel. So it's the periodic function, but they have given non-periodic, so it is false. So now important properties of fractional part function, my dear students. So properties of fractional part function, which is fractional part is equal to 0 if x is integer. Just now we have seen this result, my dear students. I hope you understood. So here these things are important. Please memorize these things, my dear students. So the fractional part of x is equals to x if x belongs to 0 comma 1. So if the value is in between 0 to 1, whatever fractional part function value is there, same thing will come. For example, we have taken 0.1 and we got the answer as 0.1. So whatever you are taking here is equals to x. These properties are very important, my dear students, when x belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay. So when it is between 0 to 1, not 0, my dear students, if it is 0 it is 0 only. So if it is, when it is between 0 to 1, you can, your answer is again the x only. If you know this property before, whenever you are seeing, you can directly take the answer 0.1, you are no need to solve the problem. These properties are very important to reduce your time, my dear students, because in maths some of these questions only they have given as the very simple, other than the calculus, integration, even statistics, for everything you have to solve a lot. The problems are will be like a lengthy thing, they make you to suffer. So only when it's you are reducing the each and every second, that matters a lot in your JEE Mains exam, my dear students. So now this property, so whatever value, if you take 0.5, my dear students, let's take is equals to 0.5 is equals to x, they are saying, wait, sorry. So here 0.5. So what I'll take 0.5 minus greatest integer of 0.5. So again it will become 0, I'll get 0.5. Because how means it's because this greatest integer functional value which becomes always 0, my dear students. So whatever value I am going to take, that only will come here. So only they are saying the greatest fractional part of x is equals to x if it 0 comma 1, if x belongs to 0 comma 1. So next thing, if greatest, sorry, fraction, yeah, it is always coming like the, so many times I use that greatest integer GIF function, so it's always coming like that, sorry my dear students. Now the GIF, sorry, fractional part of x plus 1 is again going to be the fractional part of x. This also very important my dear students. Whenever you are adding any integer, that fractional part function won't change. For example, let's take 0.5. Now I am going to add with 10. So I'll get the answer 10.5. Okay, the fractional part value I have to find is 10.5. Again I'll get the x only my dear students. Let's see. So the 10.5 means my x value is 10.5 minus the greatest integer function of 10.5 is what my dear students? Again 10. So the value is 0.5. The value is what my dear students? 0.5. That's what I have taken here as the fractional part function. That's what they have said. Whatever value you have added, again you will get the same fractional part function only my dear students. We are going to see so many problems based on all these properties. So please attend the session very attentively. Okay. Now x belongs to 0, 1 for all x. This thing already we have seen my dear students. For all x, the fractional part function is here, actually square bracket have to come. They have mentioned in open bracket, not square bracket. So next, if you sum the negative of the fractional part function and the positive of the fractional part function, you will get 0 if x is an integer. Otherwise, if it is something like 0.5 or something, you will get the answer as 1 my dear students. You can solve and see, these are like very simple thing. You no need to worry, but please keep that in mind. Like the same properties are there in greatest integer function also. So you are not supposed to be confused. Okay. Then yes my dear students, already I have mentioned you x is equals to fractional sum of the fractional part function and greatest integer function. If you apply negative means it will become entirely negative. The fractional part of function x is defined as the difference between x and the greatest integer less than x. So now solve for x, 3 greatest integer of x plus 2 fractional part of x plus 2x is equals to 1. And these values are like, these are very simple my dear students when it comes to mains. So you just think how to solve. Take a minute, pause the video, because thinking matters a lot. Albert Einstein said so many times my dear students, I always get the idea of physics after thinking a lot only. So that you have to think. Okay. Let me have some water my dear students so that I can feel some energy. So my dear students, have you got an idea? So the 3 greatest integer of x plus 2 fractional part of x. He is the hero and he is going to start our problem. So the solution for this question, which is 3 greatest integer of x plus, here we can write fractional part x is equals to x minus greatest integer of x my dear students. So 2 into x minus greatest integer of function x plus 2x is equals to 1. Okay. So 3 greatest integer function x, 2 x minus greatest integer. Okay my dear students, just I have expanded this, nothing else I have done my dear students. Now 3 fractional part x, sorry, greatest integer 2x minus 2 greatest integer of x plus 2x minus 1, which is equals to 0. Okay my dear students, now what I am going to do? Now I am going to subtract these two parts. So if I subtract means what I will get? Greatest integer of x plus 4x minus 1, which is equals to 0. So the greatest integer of x 4x minus 1 which is equals to 0. I think you can keep that one that side itself, my dear students, plus 4x is equals to 1. So now I have to take the value for x which have to give me the value 1. So which is like a trial and error method, but this one is very easy. By visualizing itself you can say x is equals to 1 by 4. So if I take 1 by 4, my value is greatest integer of 0.25 plus here 1 by 4, 4 and 4 cancel, will be cancelled out, and here I will get the value 1. So 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. So the answer for this question is x is equals to 1 by 4. Have you understood, my dear students? I hope you understood well. Still, if you have any kind of doubts, clarification, please ask me. I will solve for you. Okay. And 3 greatest integer of x plus, for this question the answer is 1 by 4, my dear students. Find the range of f of x is equals to x minus greatest integer of x divided by 1 minus x, the same thing they have given, my dear students. Now we have to find the range. So here you may think, so what's the greatest integer function they have given, but you kept this question in fractional part. Don't be hurry, my dear students, because this also will become fractional part. Fractional part function is very good, my dear students. When you are going to solve so many problems, then you come to understand, then you will understand how important that is. Okay, now we have to find the range, my dear students. They have given the function like this. Now solution f of x is equals to x minus greatest integer of x 1 minus, here what I am going to do is x minus greatest integer, just for my, just I have replaced, my dear students. Since it is sum, there is no problem, the function is not going to change even if I take it in, if I replace the x and gif of the x. Okay, I hope you understood this part. Now as we know before, fractional part of x is equals to x minus greatest integer of x. So what we will do, f of x, directly, so I have to write it small. 1 minute, my dear students. Since there is no space, I have to make it small. So now f of x, which becomes like fractional part of x divided by 1 plus fractional part of x. Now though I have the function like this, still it is, I can't solve, right? I am not getting any proper lead. So I want to get the convenient lead. So that again I am going to change this function for my comfortable level. So this thing you have to understand, my dear students. When you are going to solve the JEE level problem, you have to make the question simple. In that first step, they will twist you. If you have done that first step, in next step also they will twist in some difficult questions, not in every question. Most of the question in first step, if you have solved, if you get the lead, that's enough. Okay, let's do, my dear students. 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus fractional part of x. Okay, so 1 plus, if I take again the same thing, my dear students, 1 plus fractional part of x minus 1 divided by 1 plus fractional part of x. So again I will get this same thing, fractional part of x divided by 1 plus fractional part of x. So I am getting the same value from this one, my dear students. So this one is the same thing. So this one and this one is the same function. There is no any kind of flaw or changes there. So now I am going to proceed with this function. So now my dear students, now what we have to do is, we know the fractional part function is interval is less than 1. This is the fractional part function, because here they said we have to find the range only. So our value is in intervals. So we have our main motive is to find the interval. So here the fractional part value. Here at denominator, what is there, my dear students? 1 plus. So I am going to add 1 on both sides. So 1 less than or equals to 1 plus fractional part of x less than 2. Okay, my dear students, one thing I did. Now 1 by fractional part, this function. So what I am going to take? I am going to reciprocal it. So if I reciprocal it, the function will becomes ulta, my dear students, 1 by 2 less than 1 divided by 1 plus fractional part of x less than or equals to 1. Have you understood, my dear students? I hope you understood. Since we are taking reciprocal, this 1 by 2, here what will come? Okay, I will explain you. So 1 by 1 less than or equals to 1 divided by 1 plus fractional part of x less than 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 can't be greater than, my dear students. So the greatest value is 1 only. So only just I replace the 1 by 2. Whenever you are taking reciprocal, or if you are multiplying with the negative, the entire values change as well as the inequality will change, my dear students. So only now I have taken 1 as the greatest thing and 1 by 2, 0.5 as the least one. This is how it have become. So my dear students, now we have what we have to do means, here negative sign is there. So since here the negative sign is there, still 1 minus is there. So what we have to do, first let's multiply with negative sides throughout the inequality, my dear students. If I do, what will happen? Entire inequalities will be changed. So if I do minus, here minus 1 less than or equals to minus 1 divided by 1 plus fractional part of x less than minus 1 by 2. So as I said before, my dear students, in reciprocal as well as in multiplying with the negative, the inequalities will be replaced. So these things are very basic, my dear students. I hope you know. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment section. So now we got the inequality. Since only one is balanced, now what we have to do? Just we have to do with 1. So if I add 1 throughout everywhere, my dear students, 0 less than or equals to 1 minus 1 divided by fractional part of x less than 1 minus 1 by 2. Already I have written here. Okay, I don't know. So 1 minus 1 by 2, which is like 1 by 2, my dear students. So my answer is going to be D is equals to D, because here only I have the closed interval, my dear students. So 0 comma 1 by 2. Be very careful when you are playing with this inequalities, my dear students. Solve so many questions, because if you forgot any inequality replacement, you will get some other value, because all are like 0 comma 1 by 2. Just they are playing. If in case if you forgot to replace, you will get the answer C. If you get the answer C, means it's wrong. That's all. You lost 5 marks. That question also you lost 4 marks, and again it will going to be the loss of 5 marks for you. So be careful, my dear students, when you are playing with these kind of inequalities. Okay. So the answer is D, my dear students. I hope you understood it well. So now let's solve this question, my dear students. The number of integral solutions we have to find. I think by this question, let's finish it, my dear students. I solve some more questions. So many questions for you. in next lecture, okay, so that you can understand, because this lecture itself takes nearly more than 1 hour. So by solving this question, let me finish the session. In next class I'll solve you so many questions, okay. So the number of integral solutions of the equations which is equals to this one, my dear students, they have given. So what we have to do is, first integral of x plus 1 plus 2x is equals to 4 integral x plus 1 minus 6. So now in the same way, my dear students, great fractional part, which means x minus greatest integer function, but here they have given x plus 1, that's all. So what we have to do, x plus 1 minus greatest integer value is x plus 1 plus 2x. Now what I am going to do is, let me keep this side itself, for x plus 1 minus 6. So now my dear students, let's solve this side. So 3x plus 1 minus, in the same way, 4 greatest integer of function minus 6. Now what we do, let's combine everything to one side, my dear students, other side next thing. So let me gather this g function to this side. So minus 5 x plus 1, which is equals to 3x plus 1 when it goes this side, minus 6 minus 3x minus 1. So to cancel out the minus, 5 x plus 1, which is equals to, here what I will get, my dear students, 3x plus 7, okay. So still this part I hope you understood, my dear students. Now what we have to do to get the integral value, so when in greatest integer function we have seen, whenever it is there like this, I can rewrite like this. So x plus 1 means I can rewrite this as greatest integer of x plus 1. This is one important property, my dear students. For any n we can do like that. So 5x plus 5 is equals to 3x plus 7. So now what we have to do, my dear students, 5 greatest integer of x, 3x, if I get the 5 there, I will get the answer 2. So 5x, where I can solve, okay, directly I got. Let me do here, my dear students. So now let me gather x on one side, my dear students. So 5x, sorry, 5 greatest integer of x. Five greatest integer of x minus 3x is equals to 7 minus 5, which is equals to 2, my dear students. Okay. So now you have to think for which value of x you will get the value 2. That's all. Since it is equality, you have to think, and they have said number of integral solutions. So only integral solutions they want. They don't want any kind of rationals, irrationals like that, my dear students. I am saying you in the simplest way. There are some other way which leads you to so many things. We no need. Just we have to solve in the simplest way, and you have to answer it very soon. That matters a lot, my dear students. So here I have to apply any integers, no doubt. So for which integer, for it is like trial and error, my dear students. So whenever they have given option, you can try with this option. If I go with 0, yes, they have given number of integral solutions. So you can try. 0 means you won't get, but for 1 you will get 5 minus 3 equals to 2. Is there any other possibility is there, my dear student, to get the value 2? Other than 1, you won't get anything. 5 2s are 10. 10 minus 6, 4. So you won't get for any other value except 1. So there is only one integral solution is there, which is 1. Okay. The answer is 1, my dear students. I hope you understood. But here how they have solved means, as we have solved 3x is equals to 5x minus 2, my dear students, but here they have gone with, in place of x they have, as I said, there is one difficult method also, you can also go with that method, but when you have option you can strike in trial and error methods also. So now if you, in place of x, already we have seen in fractional part function x is equals to fractional part plus greatest integer, because after this one we don't know what to do. 5x minus 3x is equals to 2. What we have to do we don't know. Since what they have taken like this, in place of just they kept x's at one side and integers gif and integral at another side. So 3 x means greatest integer modulus x. So 3 modulus x, and they have taken this one to another side, my dear students, 2x minus 2. Now what they will take, again the same method, interval. So I am going to apply 3 there. If I apply 3, I have to multiply all along the side with 3. So I will get this one. Then for this one only, already I have defined 2x minus 2. So since from using this second equation, I am getting 2 gif minus 2. Now what I have to take, I am going to remove this minus 2. So I am going to add throughout the inequality with plus 2, my dear students. So the inequalities won't change. So 2x less than 5. Okay, my dear students, from this here again 2 is there. Again I don't want the 2 also. So what I am going to do, divide all the sides with 2. So 1 less than or equals to 5, which means 1 less than or equals to x less than 2.5. Here the greatest integer function is there, my dear students. So it will take the value, the values are 1 comma 2, because 2.5, 2.4, all those values I will get 2. So greatest integer is equals to 1 comma 2. So from 1, my dear students, we have, from equation 1 we have the value is equals to 1. As I said before, only though there is 2 values, if you apply greatest integer of x is equals to 1 in equation number 1, you will get x is equals to 1. You see here we have to apply 1. So 3x is equals to 5 minus 2 is 3, x value is 1. If I take in place of 2, what will happen? 3x is equals to 5 2s are 10, my dear students, 10 minus 2. I will get x value as 8 by 3. They have clearly mentioned integral solutions alone, not every solutions. If they have given number of solutions means, then we have to think, then we can't solve this question based on this method. If every solution, then you have to solve using this method alone. But since they have given number of integral solutions, I said use that method, that trial and error method, whenever you are having the options, my dear students. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this question. For this question, in next session, I will start the session with this question, my dear students. I will solve plenty of problems in fractional part function so that you get some idea. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this session, my dear students. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment section so that I come to know how I have to develop my teaching level, whether my teaching is going fine, everything. You can comment me anything, my dear students. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't also, please tell me. If you have enjoyed also, please tell me. Thank you. Bye bye, my dear students.